On the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Wow. First off, just got to say we've got a lot of news to talk about. It's going to be fantastic. Second off, literally in the past 30 minutes, I've had 3 YouTube videos taken down. I don't know what's going to happen. They haven't thrown a strike on my channel yet. I'm expecting it to, but I doubt that I'm going to survive on YouTube any longer. And I'm just going to point out, look, you guys know what I say on a regular basis. That's pissing them off, apparently. I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of people out there that are still holding on to their YouTube accounts, and I always wonder. In fact, it always bothered me that people were allowed to literally push my information up on YouTube, and they could keep it up, but I can't put my own information up. I don't know what it is. I've expected this. I kind of thought maybe, I don't know. I was like a lot of people. I'm like, I don't know. They let me start a channel. They've been pretty cool lately. Yeah, 3 videos. By the time this is done, who knows? I should try to keep it open on my phone. By the time this is all done, I'm betting money that there's going to be more. I don't even know. One of them had the word Nazi in the title. I'm sure that wasn't probably good, and I'm sure just saying the word, we'll see how this works out. But yeah, they're getting crazy. So we're heading into a very, very interesting time. And they said conspiracy theories you're not allowed to talk about anymore on YouTube. Conspiracy theories. Literally. Like that's pretty awesome. So get ready, guys. Game's on. We're getting close. And you know, again, I'm still going to question all the people that are still on YouTube. They're going to say, "Well, I just don't say the words." Yeah, you're whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't want to say it's jealousy because I don't have that many viewers over there. I think I average 500 views per video. Over there, I think I have 2,300 subscribers, something like that. I mean, nothing to shake a stick at, but not like the rest. I get 500 views on X. I get more than that on X probably, which is kind of a trip. All said, whatever. We got a lot going on. Hulk Hogan passed away today. This is sad. 71, heart attack. Yep. Hulkamania is no mas. We had a few deaths today, by the way. We're going to start with those. We'll start with the shit news and then work our way into everything else. Chuck Mangione, Grammy-winning jazz musician. First radio station I worked at, we played a bunch of Chuck, man. He's dead at 84. Brilliant musician. Very sad. He's a flugelhorn player. Yeah, he plays the flugelhorn and the trumpet. Yeah. I don't know if he's actually had that kind of accent, but I feel like anyone that plays a flugelhorn should definitely have that kind of accent. Or using one of those Ricola, something like that. I feel like it's what it should be. But anyway, well, who knows? This is just, again, sad for me, maybe to you. Anne Burrell, she died. I already mentioned this when she died, but they found out it was actually suicide. Yeah, she was having all sorts of ghosts were haunting her. She was having a very hard time finding happiness in life and had for years. And it's just sort of this sad thing. It's and this isn't, you know, I'm happy right now, just so you guys know. But this is the funny thing about depression. One, depressed people don't talk about it. Everyone's like, you should just talk about it. Depressed people don't talk about it. The people that do talk about it are far less concerning than those that go quiet and just act like everything's cool. Yeah, I mean, not that every single person that acts like everything's cool is suicidal, but that's generally how a legitimate suicidal person is. I was suicidal twice. I finally learned how to get past the suicidal stuff. It's actually kind of what led to manifesting too. Fun story there, but all said, powerful, and just, you know, not everybody is what they seem. Not everybody that posts their best moment on Facebook is necessarily happy. Let's just keep these things in mind. Iran has acknowledged, I feel like I talked about this too, but it's one of those things that needs to be on the front burner a little bit, but they've acknowledged that the U.S. airstrikes did in fact destroy the 3 sites. Now, they keep saying, we're going to continue to, refine uranium, or enrich uranium. Okay, fine. We'll figure out where you're building whatever site it is, unless you've got some weird tunnels that you've already buried off and got smart because you knew this day was coming. So maybe they, bore machined out. But I would assume seismically, I don't know, whatever. I feel like we have an idea where they're at, if there are still more coming or more targets to be built, if you will. The Chinese national that stole U.S. missile tech. So I feel like a little more information came out about this dude. Initially, it was the infrared signatures is what we were originally reporting. Now, Cheng Huang Gong, a dual citizen of the United States and China, pleaded guilty on Monday to stealing over 3,600 files containing military trade secrets from the Southern California defense contractor. Look, this is going to sound bad coming from me especially, and I'm not sure how I feel about me saying it, so I just want you to know. And I'm not saying it under duress per se. I'm just kidding. But man, it doesn't seem like people that are affiliated to Communist Chinese Party in any way, shape, or form, or unfortunately, even, man, this is like World War II with the Japanese in the internment camps, right? Like, that's what it feels like. I frequently said it's the deep state. I love Chinese people. You guys know that. Love them too much, probably. But we can't, how can we trust, man? This is the most important technologies we have. I mean, Chinese people are smart. That's unfortunate. China-linked hackers breach U.S. nuclear weapons agency in a sophisticated operation. They used that SharePoint hack and got a bunch of stuff from our nuclear security administration, which bothers me more that we're using SharePoint. Hopefully these documents they got are crap docs because, and I doubt it. The government's stupid. I've worked at a number of places that think cloud computing and cloud sources are a great idea. I'm hoping that the National Nuclear Security Administration at least had on-premises, and maybe, but stupid. So again, I don't know. A lot of this is pointing us to be angry at China. Why is there that happening? What are we about to do that needs us to be grumpy with China? I feel like something's coming. I don't know what it is. Keep your eyes open. Trump did some signing here to 3 executive orders to ensure that the United States wins the AI race. I know AI freaks out a lot of people. I'm just going to say AI's here. The nefarious forms of it already exist. The military's got one that's way, way beyond, likely anyways, I'm going to speculate here a little bit, likely has something that's far more capable than Grok, which is probably one of the better ones, frankly, even though I hate to give Elon any points right now. Such a shame how much he's destroyed his reputation. We'll get into that too. But AI is here. AI needs to be here. AI needs to be able to do things in every way, shape, and form. Now, AI shouldn't be used for, pornography, making fake videos, impersonating people. Like, there's a lot of things it shouldn't be allowed to do, but you don't, build it that way. You code it that way after the effect. You let it learn how to do those things because you need it to be able to do those things so it can identify when those things are being done to you. And this is one of the differences and one of the reasons why I've been a staunch supporter of not letting states intervene in how AI is developed. Because it'll be states like, I don't know, California or Mississippi, no offense to anybody, but it'll be one of these extreme states that'll be like, you can't do this. And it's like, it needs to know how to do that. We shouldn't let it, the one that's given to the public, but limiting the development of AI because we don't like what other China, Iran is going to do to us, right? And that's the other side of it. It's the same process we got thinking in our heads about how we just stop manufacturing here and we just buy shit from another country and then now we're green. And it's like, you realize they're polluting way worse than we ever did and you're still buying from a manufacturer that's polluting. Yeah, but it's not in my backyard. I don't see it. It's the same thing. AI needs to be robust here as well, and it needs to be done our way and properly. But it can't be held back. And so, again, Trump is signing some big orders. I know a lot of people are going to trip, whatever.
Prepared for your signature today relates to federal permitting for data center infrastructure. As you mentioned during your speech, this is a crucial issue affecting the entire AI industry. What this executive order will do is establish fast-track permitting and ensure that the federal government is working to get data centers approved and through the permitting pipeline as quickly as possible. As you said before, sir, it's absolutely essential that American AI models and the American AI industry dominates the future of this industry around the world. What this next executive order will do is promote, through various instrumentalities of the federal government, the export abroad of American AI models to ensure American AI dominance in the future.
Okay.
And lastly, sir, as you said in your speech, we don't want woke AI. We want AI models based on accurate information that give accurate information and accurate answers. This executive order will ensure that when the federal government procures or promotes different AI models, that those AI models are ideologically neutral, that they don't embrace wokeism and critical race theory and all of these terrible theories that have done so much damage to our country.
Again, China is going to. TikTok does. Anybody that goes on TikTok, again, if you spend time on TikTok, I highly recommend you find another platform to try to get better with or happier with. TikTok literally is trying to promote negative things towards this country. It is. It's Chinese algorithm. Might change soon. If it does, that'll be groovy. And then you can be happy about TikTok. But TikTok is not really helpful. Now, Google's not either, by the way. Makes it difficult. Truth seems to be, obviously. I believe X is as well, at least so far. Hopefully Musk doesn't get pissed at everybody. Could happen. And then I think Rumble and BitChute for sure. Like two places I'm definitely at. Again, search on the Fringe, one word, you should find me. But there's places that are going to shut down soon, it seems. I mean, again, I don't know. It's a badge of honor, in my opinion. That's how bad I am, right? Like, that they got to take my stuff down. It's interesting. A lot of people keep shit up, say worse than me. Again, it's one of those things where it's like who they do it to versus what they've done it to, right? Like, it might just take one person to finally watch one of your things, and they're like, oh, dude, this guy shouldn't be on. And then, done. Now you're hated. Now they find 3 videos. Again, they took down 3 videos. Typically, that's like a 3 strikes, you're out. Like, they might have downed the channel. I don't know. For any of you guys that used to watch me on YouTube, guess what? You probably won't find me there anymore. A passenger plane in Russia crashes. It's an old-ass plane. It was made in like 76 or something like that. Killed all 48 people on board. Very sad. It was coming in to land. Don't know if it was out of fuel, or we don't know really anything about it at all. But it went down in a pretty remote area, which is always interesting when that happens, you know. Again, really old technology, though, so you've kind of got to wonder, you got to wonder if, how much of it was that, right? Like, it's crazy how it goes. So much happening in the world, and just trying to keep ourselves healthy. There's obviously a few products I'm fond of that do just that. The Healthy Home product line is incredible. So obviously go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Stem Active is going to help you with healing. Your stem cell count starts to go down as you age. This actually boosts it up naturally from your own internal stem cells, which are the best kind. Boosts them up and boosts them up 25 to 40% in a very short period of time from taking, and it helps with healing. These are the cells that can become any other cell in the body. No other cell in the body can become another cell. It's stuck being a heart cell, a lung cell, a muscle cell, a skin cell. It's stuck being that forever. Stem cells can become any of those. Now, once it becomes, that's it. It's stuck that way for life. But it's got some variabilities built into it. So this just helps your body allow its healing mechanism to kick in quicker. I had an issue with my shoulder. Girlfriend had she had calcification in her shoulder. She's working fine now. I've a cop friend that was having issues. I got another couple buddies that we're all talking about joint issues, some on the hips, some on the knees. For whatever reason, this just seems to help. It seems to help your own body deal with the healing process. And some inflammation is, well, your body fighting something, and giving it a little more help to take care of some of these problems seems to work out very well. So stem cells are a big deal. Stem Active is 2 different ways. There's a gel, which is liquid. Do that, drink that. Probably gets in your system a bit faster. And then there's the pills. Those are what I take typically. And I don't know, they seem to get in the body pretty quickly. They're those gel caps, and I can generally tell when they've released very shortly after eating them. So, Balance is another one that I'm hearing rave reviews about. So, ladies, as I hear word on the street, when you go through that period in your life where the change, we call it the change, starts to happen, it's a little bit uncomfortable for everyone, especially you, certainly you, of course you. Temperatures get all weird. Moods are up and down. You can't freaking sleep. Like, just hit you out of nowhere. It's just weird, right? Makes no sense. There's this weird hormone thing going on. I'm not going to pretend to understand it, and I'm certainly not going to try to explain it to you. But what I am going to say is Balance doesn't have any synthetic hormones, doesn't have any hormones in it. What it's got is a bunch of plant-based stuff, 14 to be specific, that help your body deal with that. Now, I've talked to one young lady that has used this, that's been very open and honest with me, and she swearing by it. Her husband's like, oh my God, the difference is night and day. She's also sort of an empathic kind of person, and this has allowed her to kind of get back into that feeling others and not being kind of like all out of sync, and so making it hard to have patience with others, if you will. Even that's been enhanced. This stuff, it's just a transdermal lotion. You literally put a little on your wrist, you rub your wrists together, done. Many are saying it lasts longer than, a month, for sure. Some people are up into the 2-3 month range with just one purchase. It's up to you how much you use and how good you're going to feel. And if you feel like you need a little more, then slather on a little more a little later. It's kind of your game to figure out. But this is a game changer. It'll bring balance. Amaze is another one. It'll make you look like you're younger. Everyone's going to love it. You got sagging skin. You got messed up joints too. All these things, hair, skin, muscles. Collagen's a really important protein in the body. Collagen is something that helps in a lot of places. It's also one that we highly recommend to help with the aging process, if you will. These, by the way, 15 packs per box. If you're thinking for a whole month, you're going to have to get 2. Or you just every other day, something you can think about. It's liquid, it's delicious, and it makes a huge difference. My girlfriend's doubled up on these because she had a hair issue. That seemed to have gotten better. I don't know, I'm sure when she shows up, I'm going to see her today. I'm sure her hair is going to be like a foot longer because of all this. We'll see. It'll probably be super long. And that Prime is great energy. My good friend Gary that was traveling Route 66 across the country took a lot of great pictures. I got to try to put a collage together one of these days for this. But it was really, really good. Just a lot of beautiful pictures. A lot of pictures. Fantastic amount. But Prime was giving him energy. He gave it to a friend that he bumped into. Had the same experience. He could tell, just more energy. You just have more energy. It's not like you're hyped on caffeine. Like when you drink caffeinated beverage, you feel like, I don't know, you get a buzz off it almost. Prime's not like that at all. You just have more energy. You don't feel different at all. You just have more energy. Whatever that feels like, it's weird. It's actually weird. It's amazing how good it works. What it is nitric oxide booster. It expands the blood vessels, so more oxygen, essentially, more blood flow anyway, is traveling. More blood means more energy, more oxygen, more all that stuff, more nutrients. It's how stuff moves through your body in a lot of cases, right? This makes it happen better. It just gives you energy. It's fantastic. For working out, sure. For playing with the kids, sure. Like all the above. You want just a little more energy during the day? Yes. And again, reasonably priced, good powder, and it kicks in very quick. Stem Active for your pets too. You got a pet, they got a healing process, they got healing, they got joints, and they got arthritis and stuff. This helps a bunch. It's actually like half the price too as human Stem Active. So very good. It's a chewable pill. So check it out, Stem Active Pets. All said, go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Or the fun way, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Check it out. Get these great products, and you'll forever be healthier. That's for sure. RNC boss Michael Whatley is going to jump in the North Carolina Senate race after Laura Trump passes. So she passed, or she didn't ever really want to, which why would you? Seriously. That's like something I have zero interest in doing in my life ever, is running for office. Even if everyone's like, dude, but no, I don't want to be in office. Fuck that. Ugh. But Whatley, yeah, he wants to be a part of it. Like, these people enjoy it. They like being in the limelight or whatever, or a bunch of people thinking stuff or whatever. All said, that's who's running. Yeah. Senator facing Paxton primary. Challenge loves anti-borders, pro-sanctuary profits at Texas. You guys got to get this John Cornyn bastard out of there. Just trying to throw some extra slather on that. I don't mean, he didn't really say anything all that impressive in this 13 seconds, but he's part of the League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC. It was really him admitting that, but whatever. It wasn't that useful. Paxton's running against this dude. Hopefully Paxton can win, right? Paxton's going through a divorce, which is very interesting. His wife believes he's cheating, and maybe there's actual proof. Maybe Paxton was, this is part of, like, he went to Epstein Island or whatever, and those pictures have now been shown to his wife, and she's like, I'm out of here, whatever, right? Whatever the case is. Something you guys got to take. Ooh, shizzle. You got to take care of this in Texas, y'all. That's what's going down. All right. Empty shelves, rotten odor, plague. This is a government-funded supermarket in Missouri. You know the thing that Mamdani wants to do in New York? Well, they actually exist in one stupid socialist state, and it's horrible. It doesn't work. East Kansas City. It's a nonprofit, operates a grocery store on government land that has become a symbol of failure, plagued by the smell of rot and empty shelves. And they literally called the news people out because they're like, dude, this place is empty. And yeah, no produce, no meat. It's empty. Empty. Government funded. And it's talking about Cuba too, because it's the same sort of thing. Communist grocery stores don't work, and this is what Mamdani wants to do. So again, people got to get rid of that guy too. Hopefully New York pulls its head out of its collective ass. We'll see. Let's see. Illinois sanctuary status and the Safety Act apparently are a problem. It's infuriating how criminals in Illinois are prioritized over victims. Again, this is just what's going on. There was this woman, she overdosed at her home. The guy that somehow it was his home, she overdosed. They were doing drugs together. He then kind of chopped her body up in pieces for the most part, kept her in a jug outside, big jug with bleach in it, and kept her there for weeks, and eventually got caught. They finally took him in. I think he admitted all this stuff, and then they're like, all right, well, you're out. We'll call you when the trials come. Like, the dude's literally, because of the Safety Act, they just no bail, back on the street immediately after heinous crimes. Way to go, Illinois. Way to go. I mean, just wow. Pentagon's pulling 700 of the Marines off of LA protests. Not all of them. I thought it was all of them. I thought Trump was doing it, and then Newsom was like, get them out of here. Well, he didn't really get all of them out of there, it seems. President Trump ordered the Marines to deploy the city. That was about 4,000 guards back then. With stability returning, Los Angeles, the secretary has directed the redeployment of 700 Marines whose presence sent a clear message. Lawlessness will not be tolerated. So he's not pulling them out entirely, probably because of the summer, and that was always the hope, was that they could start, I guess, in LA, it seemed like, because, when stuff happens in Portland, nobody cares. It always happens in Portland. When it happens in Seattle, nobody cares, because it always happens there. Happening in LA or even New York, where there's actual fires or something, ooh, yeah, that's a total different story, right? So, yeah, he's keeping some there, obviously, as a deterrent. The court has ruled against New Jersey's bid to ban ICE detention facilities in the state. The state was trying to pass a law saying that there could be no federal ICE facilities. And the judge is like, just like you can't, the government can't tell you what to do, you can't tell the government what to do. So they lose. They just lost completely. They had no chance on that. So that was a crap version of a law. We've got another example of those, one in California that got overturned, which I was stoked about. But FBI's most wanted list is some brute guy. He lists for tossing a cinder block through the ICE riots. You guys remember the guy that was throwing the... I thought I was going to see the video. Let me see if I refresh this. Maybe it'll show it. But I think it does. He was the dude that was standing out in the middle of the road and just throwing the bricks through the cars. They finally caught his ass. That was just cool. I wish I had the video of it. That's unfortunate. It's got to be coming up. All right, where is it? Too much talking, man. Where's the good stuff? All right, whatever. I can't find it. But yeah, the guy was in the middle just throwing it at cars coming through, cop cars, other cars, just all these cars. It was this dude. He had a helmet on. They caught him. This was probably because of they offered a reward for him. Yeah, this is how he was dressed when he was doing it. So messed up. So again, these are either paid protesters or just people that are just horrible and should be taken off the streets. At least we're finally doing that. These guys have been running the show for a long time. At least 10 kids, some as young as 2, were sexually tortured with shock collars while held captive as part of Alabama sex trafficking ring. Cops have shut this down, so that's pretty fantastic. The sheriff guy says, I know God's forgiveness is boundless, but if there is a limit, we've reached it. That's pretty beautiful comment, I believe, nonetheless. So yeah, pretty screwy. I think we got one more of those type stories here. Huge victory for the fight against child exploitation. Let's check this out.
Hi everyone, I'm Kash Patel, Director of the FBI. I'm excited to announce the results of a global operation to take down 4 of the biggest child sexual abuse sites on the dark web and bring the criminals who operated them to justice. As a result of Operation Grayskull, the FBI arrested 19 subjects here in the United States, and working with our international partners, helped coordinate additional arrests in 7 more countries. Shockingly, many of these perpetrators had no prior criminal records. They were people we knew and trusted, neighbors, colleagues, even family members. They were active in our communities and around our children. This is why we must stay vigilant. Investigations like this are thorough and resource intensive. They often take years due to the complexity of tracking perpetrators on the dark web. Specialized teams like the FBI's Child Exploitation Operational Unit work tirelessly to find those who harm our children and put them behind bars. Through global partnerships and dedicated resources, the FBI works to ensure that all children have the chance to grow up safe and free from exploitation. Rest assured, we will keep hunting these criminals no matter where they are. Thank you for keeping our children safe.
So everybody always says for the children. We're making definite progress for the children. There's quite a few of those stories that keep coming to the surface. Yes, what do we got? Biden administration's child safety hotline left 65,000 calls unanswered. Just pulling back some fun numbers from what the Biden administration was doing versus what we're currently doing now. Much larger difference. Judge denies the Department of Justice request to unseal Epstein grand jury transcripts. Says we've never really done it before, not without a specific reason, and just giving them to the public is something we've never done. Not going to start now. I figured this was what was going to happen. I'm not surprised at all. Now, we will mention, I think, Ghislaine, as I keep calling her, Ghislaine, whatever. Ghislaine is being talked to today, by the way. Blanche is talking to her and supposedly talking to her all day. That's got to be making some people nervous, for sure. Odds are he's allowed to make a deal. And so we will see. We'll see what comes from it. But this is better than Epstein, most likely. And this will likely overshadow the documents. Everybody wants them, right? Everybody wants the information. Even the Democrats are saying, release them. Well, they want them to release the documents that were messed up by Comey's daughter. You know, the fake ones or whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to give something better, I bet. It's fun how the game's played. And, you know, sometimes maybe they make moves, and Trump's like, all right, let's go talk to Ghislaine. I mean, we've just kind of been holding her. We knew this day would come. So we'll see. Deputy Attorney General, like I said, is meeting with her today. Already happened. He's been there for hours, supposed to be there all afternoon, so hopefully we get some updates. Just a fun reminder. Virginia Giuffre said, I've never seen Trump participate in anything involving Jeffrey Epstein. Wasn't she the one that, quote, killed herself in Australia? Right? That same Virginia Giuffre? The same one that was in the picture with Prince, what's his face? That same girl? Yeah. And she suddenly disappears. You know they want Ghislaine. Oh, they want her badly. And I don't think they've been able to. I think she's been in an actual secure facility. Well, she's supposedly not dead, so got to be some truth to that. House Oversight Subcommittee voted Wednesday to subpoena the Department of Justice to release files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Again, one thing that's easy to say is it's involved in an investigation. So a lot of stuff's not going to get released, but here's this part with CNN.
Supporting the motion.
For sure. Yeah, and I'm going to amend the motion to protect the identity of the victims.
What do you think of the Speaker adjourning the House early to avoid this whole fight over Epstein?
This fight's coming no matter. I mean, this is here, and I'd made it part of my life's mission to protect women and kids, and I think that I'm ready to take this vote. I think we should take this vote and move forward, move this country forward. And the victims deserve justice, and people deserve transparency. Is what they want.
And this issue over the Epstein matter has really infiltrated all aspects of the House. Various committees now considering various measures. Democrats seizing an opening here, even though they had really not pushed this issue at all during the Biden years. They now see this divide within the GOP and trying to tie this to any measure that they possibly can, which is why in this subcommittee right now, Republicans are trying to figure out exactly how to proceed, whether to align themselves with the Democratic effort.
So I'm just going to give my my Democrat friends a little nickel's worth of advice here, or just to let them know what's going on. So here's the thing: you guys want the files. You're all talking about the files. But of course, if a file's involved in an investigation, then they can't be brought forward. Now, knowing Kash Patel and Gabbard and all the stuff that's come out, and we know we just fired Comey's daughter. If we just fired Comey's daughter and she was involved in SDNY and a whole bunch of different things there, wouldn't any files that potentially have been added recently be under investigation? Just throwing it out there. So any of the documents that they don't want coming out, or that they want coming out, any of the documents that have Trump in them, are probably under investigation. So they won't come out. They're not going to tell you which ones didn't come out. Oh, we had this one picture of Trump, like where Epstein's actually giving him a BJ. But we had to take it out because it's involved in an investigation. It never happens like that. Just doesn't come out. And we gave you everything we could. Have a good day. Thank you for your attention to this matter. As Trump would always say, untruth. This ain't going to play out the way that they want. So obviously, the ploy from the good guys was to get the lamestream media talking about this incessantly. Because now everybody's going to find out. Clinton certainly been involved a bunch. But they're going to find out a whole bunch of weird stuff about this. A whole bunch of weird stuff. And some people are going to get caught up in it and be destroyed. And it's probably some of the shittiest buttholes that are out there. The ones that are constantly just hating on Trump, like De Niro, just as an example that popped into my head, only because he's probably one of the most vitriolic people. Who's that little redheaded comedian chick that's not funny, that had the severed head? She's, I can see why YouTube doesn't like me, but I mean, nothing I'm saying is inappropriate, per se. This dude here, Rick Crawford, he's the new House Intelligence Chair. Just wanted to have a picture, because he is actually accusing Obama of leading the greatest perpetration of fraud in history. This happened Wednesday. Accused the president, Barack Obama, of executing the greatest perpetration of fraud against the American people in history, claiming the former president cannot plead ignorance in this case. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, obviously declassified a whole bunch of stuff. This dude's looking at it, and he's like, oh yeah, there's this dude's names. He signed documents. He signed it. Well, I didn't know anything about it. You signed it, Holmes. Come on now. Let's go paddleboarding. Circumstances regarding Russia collusion hoax is worse than we thought. Jim Jordan was on with Hannity. I'm going to probably kick this up a speed notch. Oh, cool. I got it up at 115. This is pretty good, though. They're going after these files. They're going after this Russiagate stuff. Epstein's going to be a big goose egg, and this is going to be the thing that's happening in the background. I think the smokescreen that Epstein's providing on both sides of the fence is keeping a lot of people pacified, right? Like they gave him that little ring that's got you can just suck on it, right? And you just got all these people just shutting the F up for a little while. They're going to have red mouths, but whatever. We'll be able to figure out who's who real easy. The rest of us are actually busy pushing out this information, getting this exposed, because this is actually the juice. It's a big deal what we're going through right now. It's kind of exciting. I have a couple people that constantly say, dude, you've got to love your job. And I'm like, I do. I mean, there's never not a thing to talk about. That's for sure.
And earlier today, the Department of Justice confirmed that it received Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard's criminal referral on bombshell claims that members of the Obama administration, quote, manufactured the Russia collusion hoax after she released documents on Friday. We had her on Friday night that reportedly show overwhelming evidence that Obama and his national security team laid the groundwork for the entire Russia collusion hoax. Now, here now with the latest, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. This means a lot to all three of us. I probably annoyed the two of you more than any two people on earth for 3 long years trying to get information about the truth on that story. It turns out our ensemble cast, and I won't mention everybody, but John Solomon and Greg Jarrett and Sarah Carter and others, we all got it right. There were a very small number of people that wanted to get it right. You two were leading the effort. Here we are. Mark Meadows, what does this mean?
Well, I think it's a big day, but I think the other thing is that there's going to be all kinds of postmortems to suggest, well, what we knew back then and what you were willing to cover, Sean, actually wasn't the case. And so what do we know? We know that candidate Donald Trump and candidate Hillary Clinton were treated differently. We also know that Clapper, Brennan and Comey met outside the workplace. We know that according to text messages. And we also know that in August of 2016, they were actually meeting at the White House. And so does this come as a surprise to Jim, you or me? No, not at all. But here's what should be told tonight is they need to go after all the people that they shared in the legacy media that covered this up, including Adam Schiff.
That's a great point. Jim Jordan, I'll go to you. To me, this grand conspiracy investigation that Kash Patel has now opened a number of weeks ago, I think a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not what we refer to as the deep state, and there is one, and whether or not there were people within our government knowingly lying to the American people, spreading propaganda for the purposes of tipping an election to one side over the other. You can say, for example, the Russia hoax would be one example for 2016, but also the double standard with top secret classified information with Hillary. Or, of course, the Russian disinformation dossier that Hillary Clinton paid for. Then you go to 2020, the laptop from hell, 51 former intel agents that knew nothing about that laptop. Boy, they all sounded like experts. Looks like Russian interference. None of them looked at it. And then you could take it through lawfare in 2024. They went after Donald Trump with a vengeance so they could call him a convict, mugshot him. They wanted to put him in jail. They never thought he would be able to beat the system. But this is a 10-year period of time that we're talking about here.
Right. And it all started back in 2016. And it wasn't just to keep him from winning the election in 2016. It was to undermine his presidency after he had already won. I want you to think of 3 dates in the interim between Election Day and Inauguration Day back in 2016, 2017. December 9th, Obama calls a meeting in the White House. All the intelligence community is there, plus the Justice Department. You got Lynch, you got Comey, you got Clapper, you got Brennan. They're all there. Obama says, we're not going to go with the intelligence community assessment. We're going to put that on hold. And they put together a new one. 3.5 weeks later, January 3rd, Chuck Schumer's on one of the Sunday shows, and he says, if you mess with the intelligence community, talking to President-elect Donald Trump, if you mess with the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday to get back at you. 3 days later, Sean, 3 days later, January 6th at Trump Tower, the intelligence community, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, go up there to give President Trump what he believes is the defensive briefing all incoming presidents get. So he's expecting just the normal briefing. Instead, it's a setup. They go up there and brief him, and then they tell him about the dossier that they already know is false. And then it gets leaked to the press, and thereby giving it credibility when the press reports that Jim Comey, FBI director, briefed Donald Trump on the Russian dossier. It was all garbage, but it was all designed to undermine. This is where it began. The whole weaponization of government began here. And to your first point, Sean, you're right. We had figured this out several years ago, and we're covering this, and the only thing we had wrong was it was worse than we thought. That's the only thing we get wrong when we dig into these investigations. It's always worse than we thought.
Okay, now, there was that final moment. They had this meeting, I believe it was January 5th, and in just the final minutes of Obama's presidency, Susan Rice, that infamous memo, by the book, Barack Obama said, buy the book. James Comey said, buy the book. Why would you write that weeks after a meeting only, 2 minutes before Donald Trump's inaugurated? Mark Meadows.
Well, you would do it to try to change the narrative, and Jen was exactly right. They had spent the preceding days actually leaking to the press so that the press could write a story to actually create suspicion, and in doing so, they created the very story that supposedly they were giving a defensive briefing to the president about. Listen, they knew it would last. They're the best leakers in Washington, D.C., and then when they leak, they investigate their own leaks. And so this is what has got to stop, and hopefully it will.
Jim,
Sean,
will anybody...
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, by the book was just a CYA. That's all they were doing. Everyone understands that. But what they did was a template, because 3 weeks after they go up and try to set up President Trump on January 6, 2017, 3 weeks later, they were successful with General Flynn. They go in and set him up. Remember, Comey testified later, spoke later at a big forum. He said, yeah, we knew it was a new administration. We should have called the White House counsel, but we thought we could get away with it. They set up Michael Flynn and took him out. Same playbook. That is why what Tulsi did, referring this to the Justice Department, God bless her and God bless the Justice Department. They should look into this as a conspiracy for what it is. Thank goodness Tasha said the same thing. This has to happen because this is where it all began.
All right.
And again, it's tripping me out that we're already getting back to where they're censoring. Again, I was just like walking back and forth. Two things, by the way, that hit me. I was just like, whatever. And then the other one, the next number, by the way, you guys know how 17 is the big deal right now, right? Everyone's 17, because that was because we needed to take that number back, right? You guys understand that, at least I hope. 17 was used for occult reasons and against us. And what we've done is we've taken back a sacred number from them, 7117. That number is ours. Again, it's fantastic. Now, the next one, which I think is boiled to the zeitgeist finally, so I'm just going to let you guys know. So when you start seeing it pop up all over the place, don't get freaked out. 1331. 13 is Friday the 13th is when the Vatican attacked the Knights of the Templar. That was when the divide happened, and that was when it was made bad in a large extent. They tried to take ownership of that word. And then 13th floor, right? They just made 13 a bad number. Witches use 13. Actually goes back, the original year was 13 months. 13 months of 28 days, which is a lunar year, is actually 364 days. Which is surprisingly close to the actual. So 13 is one of these things that's supposed to be kind of turned back on in the process of this awakening experience. So just throwing it out there. We got Press Secretary and Tulsi Gabbard. They're in a joint thing together here. We're going to start with our good friend, drawing a blank on our Press Secretary's name, but she is going to talk. And again, talking about the subversion, the conspiracy, all the stuff that's going on. Check it out.
On another matter, over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power, in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump. The new evidence released by the Director of National Intelligence, who is here with me today, confirms that the Obama administration manufactured politicized intelligence, which was later used as the justification for baseless smears against President Trump in an effort to try to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. The truth is that President Trump never had anything to do with Russia, and the Russia collusion hoax was a massive fraud perpetuated on the American people from the very beginning. And the worst part of this is Obama knew that truth, and so did all of the other corrupt officials involved in this scam, including former CIA Director John Brennan, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, former FBI Director James Comey, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and many others. Director of National Intelligence Gabbard's report further confirms what we already knew. There was no collusion, no corruption, except on the part of Barack Obama and the weaponized intelligence agencies at the time.
At President Trump's direction and with the support and coordination with the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Rick Crawford, today we've released a declassified Oversight Majority Staff report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration. We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice.
It's easy for us to just be like, just arrest them already. To put a case together to indict somebody, just think about it from the standpoint of some of these child pedophiles and stuff. They literally got to catch them in the act. Think about it. It is not easy to put these things together. And ultimately what you can prove in court versus what they're guilty of is a big deal. So any thought that this is simple is bullshit. Kick that out of your head. It's 100% wrong. It's not even remotely simple. It doesn't even resemble it. They do all this evidence. Yeah, they've got lawyers. You've seen Diddy got off, right? No pun intended. He got off. Comey's daughter was involved in that case. Epstein barely got in trouble. He was guilty of, Ghislaine, she's in jail. Safe, thank goodness. Being waited for, maybe. Ooh, was that another one I needed? I think it was. Let me try again. Here's a Tulsi, short one.
There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
That's my kind of girl. On tranquilizers and no teeth? Wait, I don't think Tulsi said that. Sorry. My fault. Justice Department launched a strike force to investigate Russia collusion evidence. Yeah. This is going to explode. They're going to release and open all the documents signed by. They're not going to redact. This is about the public finding out. This is, I would say, everyone keeps talking about the emergency broadcast system. It's probably about as close to that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe something crazy happens, but I feel like we're totally in that genre right now. I feel like Watch the Water was still Carrie Lake to a large extent. That was a huge, exponentially large showing of how literally this, why I can't have a YouTube channel, but other people can. Same thing. We're all creators, is what I'm learning in my Law of One stuff, which I'm doing today live. Looking forward to it, by the way. It's going to be good. Get my chi back into good order standing, which I'll do beforehand with a quick meditation. So they're going to look into this. We're going to find out. It's coming. Give it time. This is the thing we suck at. Not our audience as much. Sort of. Right? Patience is a virtue, they say. It is, too, by the way. It's probably one of the most important things that you'll ever master in life is patience. And even patience will always annoy even the best master. at some point, the edge of patience has to inch you further. You're like, I'm uncomfortable for a reason. And then you're like, haha, bitch, patience. I got this. Paul Sperry posted the pro-Hillary Ukrainian government, which was also under the spell of the Bidens in the late 2016 when Obama's ICA was drafted, fed Brennan's false intel dirt on Trump that made its way into the final ICA. Kiev was essentially working for the Clinton campaign in 2016. This whole European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, and all that bullshit, and the person that's suing Candace. I want to talk about that later because I'm fascinated by it because I've said shit for sure. But I'm like, how is that illegal? You can say whatever the hell you want about another person in another country, right? Apparently, Graham and Cornyn are calling for a special counsel in the Obama case. I don't trust if Lindsey Graham has anything to do with it. I don't trust it at all. Lindsey Graham, I trust you zero. Zero, home dog. Especially because all this Ukraine shit that's got your fucking big fat stupid fingerprints all over it. Fuck no, I don't want you involved in this. Get out. GTFO. And that's not like a new Grand Theft Auto. No, that means get the fuck out. Don't trust you, Lindsay. First off, with a girl name. No offense to all the Lindsays out there. I think they spell it with a Y. I know, my name's Dan. Whatever. Same thing. My neighbor's got the female version of my name. At least it's not, whatever. Pot kettle, shut up. House GOP finally moves to investigate J6 feds and J6 committee. About time. But it's not happening for a month, a couple months. A little later in the year. They're going to establish their own select subcommittee to look into the select subcommittee that deleted all their shiz. Again, what we find out, we'll see. I guess I highlighted this part for a reason. While the process to establish the committee is now underway, Republican House leaders have indicated that it will still be several months before Loudermilk can officially initiate the January 6th inquiry. A vote on the resolution establishing the select subcommittee, including its investigative authority and scope, is expected to be held in September when Congress returns from the August recess. One of the other things, too, is this is meant to sort of time in with the elections. Think of people like Massey who are going to want to be involved in some of this stuff, and they're going to be like, no, dude, you're a douche. Everyone knows you're a douche. We're going to make you wear the douche hat whenever you come in here if you want to be a part of this committee. Otherwise, no. Well, he's like, what's the douche hat look like? I'm like, well, let me grab it for you. We had one specially made. In fact, we know exactly the size of your stupid melon, so it'll fit perfectly. It covers my face. That's the point. I don't trust anybody, and Mike Lindell's been fighting the fight, and you guys know that. And so, I don't know. This one thing that came out, and I'm going to do a short one today, mypillow.com/OTF, and a bunch of you guys just probably like rolled your eyes. You should have. mypillow.com/OTF. The reason it's short, though, Giza Dream Sheets, $49.98, literally ends Sunday, okay? That. And the other one, where's the percale? These guys, $29.88, done Sunday, okay? That's fact. Done Sunday. You haven't gotten your Giza sheets. I told you guys, this right here, these moccasins, this shit ain't going to stick around long either. Maybe until they're gone or one more week. I doubt it. $39.98, and I'm just going to say, okay? Best towels ever. I love these guys. I love their toppers. You should get those. You should check out. They can actually literally mail you a mattress. If you need a mattress, they can mail you a mattress. Just think of the logistics of that and how beautiful that is. Again, great products, and his cross, super cool. It was fun when I was talking to him. I kept noticing the cross, so I wanted to bring it up. But it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a awkward thing. It's sterling silver, though. It's beautiful. They got men and women. They got the white inside with the blackish outside, and they got the black inside with the silver outside. So a bunch of choices. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. mypillow.com/OTF. Did I mention Sunday? Literally. mypillow.com/OTF. Take advantage of that sale, my lovey-doveys. Who's a lovey-dovey? That was Gilligan's Island, right? Lovey. Not Dovey, I guess, but right, Lovey. Lovey was, at least that's who I was thinking. Probably. The Millionaire and His Wife, the movie star. The professor and Mary. All right, just try to kill time. Democratic governors Tim Walz and Laura Kelly plan to split from the NGA. This is the National Governors Association. They're splitting from it. The National Governors Association sounds like it's trying to do the right thing because probably two of the worst people out there. Tim Walz for sure. Hello. And then, I don't know, Laura Kelly. I feel like we're just hearing about her. I feel like she's like a superhero's girlfriend or something. I don't know, it's a cool name. But whatever the case is, they're stepping away from this Democratic Governors, it's National Governors Association. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I got that. That was right. Take that, Biswell. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers announced Thursday he's not going to rerun for election. He's like, not because I didn't think I was going to win. If you asked me if I was going to win, he's like, F yeah, I'd win. I'd win all over the place. I'd win in your face. But I'm leaving someone to spend time with my family. Okay, I was just throwing that out there for you guys. Taiwan says China clearly interfering with its democracy ahead of a recall vote. Huh, weird. China being involved in effing with an election? Oh, say it isn't so. Of course in Taiwan it would be. Yeah, I'm surprised she's not doing peace signs. That's more of a Japanese thing maybe? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, not cool. Trump administration expands search for Golden Dome missile defense partners beyond SpaceX. We want to involve other companies, not just Musk, who's a dick. Just saying. Oh, hey, guess what? Tesla charging unit sparks garage fire, extensively damaging Texas homes. Do you think they're trying to get Musk reeled back in? Musk is going to lose some companies. They'll literally fire him from the board. They have a board. All these companies have a board. When you go public, you have a board. You can be the CEO all you want. There's multiple CEOs that have been fired. Who's the dude that can dance that did Project Veritas? He got fired, and it was his company. Oh, it happens all the time. All the time. It's called how they take the company away from you. They make you do crazy shit that costs us stock money, and dude, they'll take it away from you in a heartbeat. They've got all the legwork done. I don't know what SpaceX probably doing okay, but I don't know. Him dicking around as much as he has probably didn't help him. Looks like he put on some pounds too. I hope, did they mess with this photo? Is this Musk's head on Trump's body or something? Looks a little bit overweight there. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on, but yeah, Musk is not everybody's friend. Columbia, the college that was just recently arrested people in the library. I don't know if we talked about that, but they suspended a bunch of people. Yeah, that was the whole big deal. They had to make amends. They got to pay a bunch of money over 3 years back to the government, and they got a deal that was made. And so they're now going to start getting federal funding again, now that they're playing by the rules, which deals with properly punishing people that do anti-Semitic stuff, properly punishing people that take over buildings. They've taken control of their college, and Trump's administration, I should say, seems satisfied with the results. So there we go. Cost Columbia University a bunch of money. Appeals court upholds a nationwide ban on Trump's birthright citizenship order. So they're still keeping it blocked. The expectation, is that next year, I think, is when they were thinking it might get in front of the Supremes. I feel like that was in the headline somewhere, or the synopsis that was in the X post. No, this is different. This is NTD. Yeah, somewhere in there. The district correctly concluded the executive order's proposed interpretation denying citizenship to many persons born in the United States is unconstitutional. We fully agree. So 2-1 ruling. It's not fully agree. It's a mostly agree. But yeah, I'm just bummed I can't find it still. Yeah, it was, I don't think it was this year. I think it was like early next year, if memory somewhat serves. Trust that for what it's worth. Reuters posted California cannot require background checks to buy ammunition. Hi-ya! U.S. Appeals Court shut it down. Once again, Gavin Newsom, is that your face in my crotch? Bastard. Yeah, that we did, and it cost money. I had to pay an extra, like $1.50 or something stupid. Still, it's the annoyance. You had to make sure you had a firearm registered to the address that's on your license, which I moved at one point, and that made it kind of difficult. So all these things are just a bunch of nonsense. So yeah, they made it very difficult It's one thing I passed a background check to buy a firearm. Should be able to buy bullets. Can't do anything with them myself. Ding, ding, ding. What am I going to do, right? Come on. Come on, California. They lost. They lose again. Suck it. Trump administration slashes 25% of IRS workforce, a sharp reversal of the Biden-era expansion. They're shutting that down. 26,000 IRS people. How many of you are even remotely sad? Probably very few. And it's probably just people that work for the IRS. Otherwise, you definitely don't care. Tech boss praises Trump. This is the NVIDIA dude, $4 billion company, by the way. $4 trillion company. Damn. Yeah, for the whole AI race and Trump talking about the AI stuff, signing the executive orders, it's a big darn deal. Trump Australia has opened up their market to our American beef. I'm very curious. I got an Aussie friend with Dirty Q. You should hit me up. What do you think about American beef? Like, you try it probably, right? But it's not like it's Wagyu or anything crazy, right? What does that mean to you? Is your guys' beef kind of like taste gamey, right? I hear you guys saying that in your accent. Tastes like it tastes like gator. Tastes like gator out here. Your beef tastes good. I don't even know how you say it. I don't know. My accent sucks, of course. This is, I'm telling you, this one here. Talks between the top South Korean and U.S. officials to negotiate over the Trump tariffs. They ran into a snag. Apparently, Besant or them, or they just sort of, we guess we don't, we're not going to be able to meet. Sorry, you were saying 12:30 and we're not available then. Sorry. Okay, we'll try again. And so, yeah, South Korea having to come to the table in another attempt at fixing things. Trump tariffs wreak havoc in Brazil's citrus belt. Again, this is Reuters. They want it to sound bad. Obviously, Lula didn't make a deal with us and isn't going to. And Trump's like, all right, so here's the thing. 50% tariff on all of your citrus products. We buy a butt ton of your limons, they would say, limes here in this country. At least that's what they look like. Or soon to be lemons, and they pick them really early, either or. That said, yes, they are pissed, freaking out. This is going to cost them a lot. They're we're just going to let them rot on the vine. It's like, all right, that's what you want to do. Let them rot on the vine. Probably good for the soil. Do what you got to do. If we have fewer limes here, I'm going to tell you the truth. Most of us will just switch to a different beer. Or we'll have, I don't know, a daiquiri instead of a margarita. It happens. But we're Americans. We can adapt. President Donald Trump is expected to visit the Federal Reserve today. I want to see him come out. I'm like, we think Powell, I was going to punch him. Like, I wish I could do his voice. But yeah, he would, I just can't wait to see what they say. There's going to be something that's going to come from that. But they went. They came, they saw, they kicked their ass. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll give this a second to update. You better put your hands up, Tesla. Tesla's in a tough place, man. Tough place. All right, can we trust this? All right, this is legit. Gold down a little, cool. 33.75, still above that magic mark. And yeah, Dow's down a little bit. They were all started. Are they all down or up? They're all down. Yeah, all right. Well, I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. You guys know. DRSlikesgold.com. That's it. That's all you're getting today on that. I just think it's slowed down a bunch. I'll tell you that. I think the price of stuff is freaking people out. RFK Jr. removes mercury-based thimerosal. Yeah, this is the one that's got the mercury in it. That's actually been removed from the U.S. flu shots. I thought kind of that had happened already, but I feel like for a couple days now I've seen this story re-reported by different places. So maybe they finally caught up. I don't know. It's officially, I guess, removed. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe it wasn't officially. It was just discussion. But now, on Tuesday, Secretary, he signed it. Center for Disease Control. So, yeah, I guess we got it. Survey reveals a seismic shift as more parents reject vaccine schedule. Again, I know this is a sensitive topic with YouTube. Here's the thing. It's a study. And it's just talking about how there's a lot of people that are actually getting not necessarily doing the vaccine schedule. Maybe it's people that are homeschooling and don't necessarily have that same pronounced push. But yeah, there is Yeah, and they're also talking about, too, the difference. 1983, there was 24 doses. There was 5 in 1962. That's interesting. So from 62 to 83, 19 doses were added. And then 2025 is 94 doses. So another 70 doses added before 18. Wow. That's kind of crazy, I guess. Well, that's my opinion, certainly. Wow, those are big numbers. So again, I don't think, as long as I don't have an opinion more than wow. But yeah, given the high decisional uncertainty, there's just, those are the numbers that's coming out in this JAMA Network poll by researchers at Emory University and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, right? You can't necessarily hate those, even though they do. So yeah, we'll see, folks. It is not a good thing. Another study that's interesting shows that in some cases, this study, Peter McCullough was writing with this Nicholas Holscher, the actual guy that wrote it, but he did the study, or at least shares this with us. Says this new study reveals 5 key findings. Chemo reactivates dormant cancer cells. Neutrophil extracellular traps are the trigger. SASP proteins, which I guess are C3MIF, CXCL1, if this means anything to any of you guys, drive this chain reaction. Blocking NETs or clearing senescent cells prevents relapse. And the mechanism was confirmed in humans. This part's the important part, really, as far as trying to understand any of this stuff. The rest of it's just the study. But chemotherapy reactivates dormant cancer cells, are finding. I actually think there's some truth that there's a metastasis that can come from that. I'm just going to remind you guys about Wellness Company, and I'm going to only spend a moment talking about parasitic cleanse. It's important to realize you can cleanse your parasites from your body. And that actually signifies a lot of stuff, if you think about it. It's a great product, The Wellness Company. So you want to go to twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. I'm doing this. And I'll be honest, the thing is just getting smaller and smaller. It's tripping me out. But it was a dime size, probably a good way to describe it roughly. It's like 20% of that right now. It's yeah, and even the slight more reddish part of it, that seems to be kind of diminishing. So again, there's something's going bye-bye. And I've noticed some other interesting things that are probably way too disgusting to share. That stuff has definitely died inside of me, and this has made a difference. This is one I swear by. This is one I'm using. You know, I'm not just what was that? I'm not just using. I'm a member or something. I forget what that was. President. I'm not just a member. I'm the president. I forget the Grecian formula or whatever that was. Anyway, check it out. They got a bunch of really cool stuff. They got some great memberships. They've got some supplements. The Ultimate Spike Detox. If you guys rolled your sleeve, you probably want to consider getting the detox. It's just a good thing. But they got a bunch of stuff. Appetite, your heart, health, hair loss, everything. They cover it all. Go to twc.health/OTF. Did I mention they're doctors? It's an actual prescription. It's completely legal. Yeah. twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. Healthy choices. Take it into your own hands. We know this is going to be ultimately the better way to go. Germany's bummed. This whole EU thing's really pissing Germany off, pissing a lot of people off. Conservatism is really starting to kick off in Japan and England. And right now, the French Macron is down to 20% favorability. And that's probably why him and his husband is going after Candace Owens. That's possible. Has a big tie-in there. So yeah, Germany's looking at some big money that they're going to get stuck paying. Like, it's gone up a lot for them, by the way, and they're already in debt. And they're like, just be in debt more. It's no big deal. So Germany being the number one economy in Europe, or the European Union. UN court says nations ignoring climate change are liable for damage. So now the UN's going to be like, United States, you've got to pay. You've got to pay because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah, we're like, we left you in. Yeah, but we're still saying you're at fault, so you owe us money. Yeah, it sounds like something Gavin Newsom would say, or what a communist would say. Huh. It's weird how those words just interchange. Russian negotiator, he names the terms for Putin-Zelensky meeting. It's kind of funny. Like, Zelensky's like, I want to talk face to face, you know? I don't think he said it like that, but, you know, he's probably wearing a green sweatshirt. Imagine that. He's like, I want to talk. I want the Russian leader. I want to talk with Putin, me, man to man, in my green sweatshirt. And Putin's like, no. First off, Putin threw somebody. He's like, no, I'm not talking to you unless unless we're literally meeting to sign an agreement. No, I'm not talking to you. Get a deal put together with my people. And then when you have a deal that you agree with, that I agree with, then I'll meet your stupid face in public and we'll sign it. Otherwise, no, we're not going to just talk in public. We have a thing called telephones, motherfucker. Think about, too, how dangerous it is, especially from the standpoint of this Zelensky guy, how dangerous it is for Putin to be anywhere near him. Because Zelensky's, you know, of course, wants him dead. That'd be like the ultimate, right? No trust there at all. There shouldn't be, I don't think, frankly. What is this? The massive protests on Kyiv, near the president's office. Yeah, they're not happy with Zelensky. He signed a bill targeting anti-corruption bodies because everybody's tired of his ass. Like, you keep killing all of us, and it's not going well, and now Europe and America doesn't want to pay for more of our dyings, and Russia's just getting smoked. Oh, that cloud looked like a mushroom cloud at first. That was tripping me out. I was like, is that what? How weird is that in the background? We've got this Thai struck some Cambodian targets. I don't know what's going on in this at all. Border clash. They used F-16s. They're very specific about using them. They said they had 6 of them ready to go, but they decided only to use 1, which seems weird. But 1 was all that was necessary, and they targeted some stuff, blowed it up. They're talking about how this is going to be the next thing that's going to spin out of control. I don't know. Thailand and Cambodia, it's a really small section of the world. I don't know who was going to proxy through that war. But needless to say, can't imagine that getting worse. I can imagine it getting worse. I can't imagine that bringing us into World War III. Thailand and Cambodia. I hope not, anyway. Overnight, Cambodia launched rocket attacks. Whatever. Hopefully it doesn't spin out. Just people trying to start wars. Turkey commits military support to the new post-Assad Syria, with the Saudis pledging about $4 billion, which is a butt ton of money for them. Israel's very against this. So this is interesting. Because Israel, remember, the Druze are anti this new regime. And this new regime is very pro and happy with Turkey and Saudis. And really, the whole thing was to try to get those guys to sign the Abraham Accord. But Israel's being very strange right now. I'm going to be very honest about that with Israel. I think Israel's the main bad people running their government, the deep state, is utilizing this. They want a the Gog-Magog war. They want that so badly. And the fact that Trump shut it down essentially when he took out those 3 sites. And he's like, Iran, we're blowing them up. Sorry, we gave you a chance. It'll happen when it does. Oh, wait, sorry. You're probably finding out about it right now. Yeah, it just happened. Sorry. But we're not going to do anything else unless you want us to. All right, have a good day. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And that's probably how it played out. Before the president even found out, Trump was probably telling him, I just blew up your sites. This is what's going to happen. And it took away Israel's ability to make things worse. They don't have that justification. So now they're like, well, the Druze. You've heard of the Druze. Haven't you heard of the Druze prior to recently finding out about them? That's a reason to go to world war. So, weird things happening. Now, Thailand and Cambodia. All right. Okay. Iranian officials fear Israeli sabotage in a spate of mystery fires, explosions. Now, there has been a lot. Iran does have a messed up infrastructure. Israel has a severe hatred for them and would easily take advantage of that. All these things are very possible. So, hopefully, Israel's not. They probably likely are. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. They're trying still, it seems. Weakly, though. If you think about it, like feebly, I should say is a better word. Macron's filed defamation suit against Candace Owens over Brigitte transgender claims. First couple of France filed a 218-page lawsuit in the U.S. state of Delaware. First off, so it's like, oh, okay. This government might allow that in some weird way. They did this Wednesday against Mrs. Owens and her businesses, alleging that she has financially gained from making demonstrably false claims about Brigitte Macron's being secretly transgender. What's interesting to me is, one, how did she make direct money from that? Like, if that was in a show that she made money off of, well, the show wasn't, unless maybe the thumbnail was all about that. That's possible. Who knows? I'm just curious because this one's one of those ones that's funny how it can be. Do you have to have gone to France or Delaware? Or how does Delaware have jurisdiction? Like, I don't know. This is one of those things where, personally, I'm like, I've said things. I even made it my thumbnail. Poking fun. Wasn't the whole show by any stretch of the imagination, but hard to say. Real life Indiana Jones was on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan didn't enjoy having him, and neither did Dr. Zahi Hawass. Many consider him to be the keeper of the secrets. I would agree with that 100%. Joe Rogan, definitely, I've heard him talk about this dude a bunch. I for sure agree with Joe Rogan. When they compare him to Indiana Jones, I have to sternly disagree, mainly because Indiana Jones was one of my childhood heroes, and Dr. Hawass is been holding back secrets. I don't know, he's like the Vatican, man. Like, I can't love the Catholics for what they've done to the world, certain things. So don't mess with my guy, all right? Bad enough they dragged him into that fourth movie, which, by the way, I enjoyed. But, yeah, that's all said. Dr. Hawass was not a good person to have on Rogan. And part of me doesn't even want to bother watching it, too, because I know he didn't answer any of Rogan's questions. They called it like, oh, you think aliens built him? And it's like, Rogan's got a bunch of theories on it, like me. Like, I'm not set on any one theory. I just don't think that your stupid theory, Hawass, is what's actually true. I think you've been lying to us. Whatever. Sorry, I'll get off that soapbox. Got a live show we're going to be doing for the, of course, the Law of One. Going to be doing sessions 33, 34. That's going to start here in just about 2 hours. And I've also got the music coming up Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Going to be doing some awesome, kind of Vietnam-ish music. And I think that should be fun. Join the live show. There's a lot of really, really cool people. It's a great community. And we actually have it moderated, so anybody that sort of steps too far out of line gets the shaft. And so it kind of keeps it cool, and just a bunch of people, and I don't know, maybe a happy echo chamber. It's for Fridays, man. We're trying to kick the weekend off, have some good music. We don't need people trying to ruin that with stupid stuff. So that is what it's about. And I've also got the In the Mix happening this Saturday. That's $25 donation. If you want to be a part of that, you have to go to onthefringe.locals.com. And if you donate $25 recurring per month, then you'll get invited. It's just the way the report is pulled. You have to literally go to onthefringe.locals.com. Don't do it on Rumble. Do it on onthefringe.locals.com. It's the only way that I can ever see it. So it's just an easy place to kind of manage all that. And they're very good that way. So if you want to be a part of it, we're going to be doing that. It's a community show. We're going to be talking about a lot of this crazy stuff that's been going on. It's kind of fun. We do it once a month. And lately, for a month, a lot of stuff seems to happen. So looking forward to having the group together and chatting about all this good stuff. That said, a lot happening. I love you guys. Just keep fighting the fight. We'll keep moving forward. We'll do it together. Hopefully, you'll come with me. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.